How we feeling today, Madison? Are we ready to send Kamala Harris to the White House? Are we ready to re-elect Tammy Baldwin? I think we're ready. Well, let me first tell you all how much I miss everybody in this room. I miss you all so much. I'm so honored to be here today. I'm Mandela Barnes, former Lieutenant Governor of Wisconsin, born and raised in Milwaukee, but so proud to be here in Madison with you all. And today I come to you as a fellow Wisconsinite, deeply, deeply concerned about the fate of our democracy, deeply concerned about the threat that lies with the former president, but also deeply encouraged and deeply motivated with the opportunities we have in electing Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of America. So for months, we've seen just how unhinged, how unstable the former president has been. We've seen the lengths that he's taken it to. We've seen the depths of depravity. But we've also seen opportunity. We've also seen hope. We've also seen a brighter future and a new way forward for this country. Now, when I spoke to so many of you 2 years ago, I said that I believe that better is possible. And I'm here to tell you that better is still possible. And while we should feel hopeful, we need to remind ourselves that these threats that we see coming from the former president, they're serious. And we have to realize that a second chance in the White House from Donald Trump will yield even more dangerous consequences for so many of us. And I can tell you, if you as an individual are an impact, and somebody you love, somebody you care about, somebody you know will be deeply impacted by another Donald Trump presidency. And I, for one, am not willing to let that stand. Now, as inspired as I am by the idea of a Kamala Harris presidency, the thing that keeps me motivated, the thing that gets me excited more than anything you could imagine is, quite honestly, you all. It's the energy of the people in this room today. It's the young people fighting for justice. It's the people who are fighting for a better tomorrow. It's the organizers. It's the students. I'll say it again, it's the students. Two years ago, we had the highest youth voter turnout in the entire country. And by the looks of this room, I think we're going to do it again, everybody. Now, you all took time out of your busy schedules, you took time out of your day, and I can't thank you enough for being here tonight to support Vice President Harris, to support Governor Walz, and to make sure we do everything we possibly can here in Wisconsin and move forward, and also put Donald Trump's dangerous, hateful rhetoric behind us once and for all. The Vice President has demonstrated that she cares about us, that she's concerned with our quality of life. She's concerned with us being able to make our own decisions. She's concerned with our freedom. She is concerned with our future, and we have to show up and vote with that same concern. And if there's one thing I can leave you all with today, is that I want you to remember that you are the catalyst for a brighter future for us all. You are the key to a better tomorrow. Now, I don't imagine that I need to tell anybody in this room that they need to go vote. I don't imagine I need to tell anybody what they need to go vote. Many of you have already early voted. And if you are one of those people who has already cast a ballot, you've just signed yourself up to bring 10 people to the polls between now and Election Day. Because the difference here in Wisconsin is 2 to 3 votes per ward. Now, although I didn't get the election result that I wanted 2 years ago, it was a 1-point race. I don't ever want us to feel like we felt that day. I never want us to feel like we felt in 2016. I want us to feel joy once again. I want us to feel proud of America. I want us to be proud to be in a country that respects you regardless of where you were born, who you love, how you identify. Two years ago, they called me different. I want people to be proud to be different. We are going to make history. We are going to make a difference. And we are going to send Kamala Harris to the White House to fight on behalf of all of us. And that's what gets me up every single morning. So if you care about your future, if you care about your rights, if you care about the rights of your neighbors and your friends, your family members and your neighbors, you won't just vote, you'll show up and you'll organize. You'll do everything it takes. Knock on those doors, make those phone calls, ask a stranger if they have a plan to vote. Let's save our democracy, everybody. Thank you so much, Madison.
Outstanding, outstanding. Hello, Madison. Hello, University of Wisconsin. How the hell are you tonight? First of all, has everyone here made a plan to vote if you haven't already voted? Can I count on you to make sure you cast your ballot between now and November 5th for Kamala Harris, Tammy Baldwin, and Democrats up and down with their ballot? You know what, damn Skippy, because we have 6 days to do the work to keep Wisconsin blue. Let me tell you, folks, there is so much at stake in this election up and down the ballot. For starters, thanks to the fair map size signed into law, for the first time over a decade, Wisconsinites are no longer voting under the most gerrymandered legislative maps in America. Thanks, every one of you. That means your voice and your vote will matter now more than ever. If we vote for Democrats up and down the ballot, we can flip the state assembly and win back seats in the Senate. And most importantly, we're making sure the will of the people is the law of the land in Wisconsin once again. And folks, we have to re-elect Wisconsin's favorite senator, Tammy Baldwin. You know, Tammy is as Wisconsin as it gets. She cares about us, she shows up, and she brings people together to solve problems together. Her opponent can't be much different. First of all, Eric Hovde is a California banker. So, as kids say, he doesn't even go here. And while Tammy championed Buy American laws, Eric Hovde cashed in companies shipping jobs all overseas. Tammy fought to make health care affordable and accessible. Eric Hovde wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act and put drug companies back in the driver's seat. Tammy fought to protect Social Security and Medicare, but Eric Hovde wants to stash benefits and give big handouts to the top. We have to elect Tammy Baldwin, period. Now, you might have seen my friends, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro, and we've been traveling across the blue wall states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Here's what I can tell you about my travels. A bit of breaking news. This election's going to be close, damn close. We have the momentum, but this is Wisconsin after all, and we know a thing or two about close elections. Just believe me, been in a couple. But here's the honest truth. The difference in this election will come down to the work we do over the next 6 days. And you're going to do it. 6 days. The conversations we have with the people we know who still haven't decided whether or not they're going to vote or for whom. That's important. Each of us have our own reasons why this election is so damn important to us. Each of us has a why, and I'll tell you mine. I'm voting for Kamala, Tammy, and the Democrats up and down the ballot, the ticket this November 5th, which happens to be my birthday, too. I want people to keep their quality, affordable health care, including people under the age of 26. And there's a few of you here tonight, and the 2.4 Wisconsinites who have pre-existing conditions. I want to restore Roe and reproductive freedom for women all across America. I want LGBTQ kids and people to be treated with dignity and respect. I believe climate change is a threat to our Wisconsin way of life. And I want elected officials who take this crisis seriously. And I want to leave my kids and grandkids with more rights and freedoms, a better world, and a better future than what we inherited. We can do this, folks. So I'm counting on you to vote. I'm asking you to do one more thing for me. I need you to reach out to those folks in your life, the people who you're not quite sure have made that plan to vote for Kamala and Tammy and Democrats up and down the ticket. Kamala, I apologize. I know her. I know her, and she will forgive me. We have to reach them. We have to make sure every person we know understands what this election means for us personally. We have to share with them our why. Can I count on you over the next 6 days to call and text 10 people in your life? That's all you have to do. And share your why and make sure they get out a plan to vote. We have just 6 days. We sure as hell aren't going to go back, and you are going to make the difference to make sure that we don't. Let's dig deep, let's get to work, and let's go win this damn thing. Let's go! Thank you.
Hello, Wisconsin! This is so great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Come on. Thank you. I am so excited to be here tonight. And it is such an honor to welcome Kamala Harris back to our state and my hometown of Madison. So having Kamala Harris back here to Wisconsin again, it makes it clear that this campaign knows that the path to the presidency and control of the United States Senate runs directly through our state because we are the battleground state. So, Wisconsin will decide who our next president is and what party controls the United States Senate. No pressure, anyone. And speaking of that U.S. Senate seat, I'm being challenged by a self-funding multimillionaire by the name of Eric Hovde. Let me just tell you a little bit about Eric Hovde. He owns a $3 billion California bank, a $7 million Laguna Beach, California home, and he's been named one of the more influential residents of Orange County 3 years in a row. Now, Wisconsin, we have a green county, we have a brown county, we do not have an Orange County, Wisconsin, right? But look, we may laugh at that, but the stakes of this race could not be higher. Eric Hovde celebrated when the Dobbs decision came down overturning Roe v. Wade. He said that he's 100% anti-choice. Meanwhile, I'm leading the effort to restore Roe by passing my Women's Health Protection Act. Women and not politicians to decide their own health care. And on the topic of health care, Eric Hovde wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act and kick millions off their health insurance. Now, just a little bragging here, but I wrote the provision in the Affordable Care Act that allows young people to stay on their parents' health insurance until they turn 26. So if you're on your parents' health insurance, I made that possible. And I will always fight to protect your health care. But with Eric Hovde, it's more than that. You know, he's insulted just about everybody in our state. Farmers, single moms, children of single moms, the LGBTQ community, seniors in nursing homes, young people, immigrants in Wisconsin, people struggling with their weight, you name it. He's demeaned Wisconsinites. It seems like if you're not a rich guy like him, he doesn't think much of you. And it's clear that he spent more time on his private beach in California than on a factory floor or a family farm in our state. And here in Wisconsin, we deserve a senator who understands us and fights for us, not one who insults us. The stakes could not be higher for our fundamental reproductive freedoms, for our health care, for our economy. We have the choice to embrace our state motto, forward, or to let Eric Hovde take us backwards. Early voting is happening right now. So make your plan, bring your friends, and get out there and vote. It is so amazing to see all of you here, to be in my hometown with all of these wonderful special guests, with the energy that we have here tonight, with this crowd. I know, and say it with me, that together we will fight, and together we will win. Yes!
Hello, Madison. How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Yep. All right, well, my name is Ty, and I'm a junior here at UW-Madison. Yeah. And just to level with you guys, I had to leave my English midterm early to get here on time, but believe me, it is so worth it to be able to be here with all of you to help welcome the Vice President of the United States to Madison. And I'm here today because our future is at stake. In less than a week, every single person in this room will help chart a new way forward by electing Kamala Harris. And yeah, I just grew up in Tomah, Wisconsin. It's a rural community. Yeah. It's a rural community where folks don't necessarily always agree on things as when it comes to politics. But what we do agree on is that we need a leader in the White House who will fight for us and who will share our values. And Donald Trump does not care about students like me and students like many of you. He is responsible for making it so that our sisters, friends, and neighbors have fewer rights than our parents did. He doesn't care if we're saddled with student debt when we graduate, and he will continue to shell out big tax breaks for big oil executives as they pollute our planet while reaping massive benefits. The good news is that we have the power to choose a different future. We've got a candidate who has a plan to take on student debt, to protect kids from gun violence, and to ensure that everybody has the freedom to make their own healthcare decisions. And you guys all know this, but that candidate is Kamala Harris. And as I'm sure many of you know, early voting is already underway here in Wisconsin. And it's super, super easy to join your friends and go out and cast your ballot. I have already gone to Memorial Union and voted early for Vice President Kamala Harris. Yeah. And along with her, Democrats up and down the ballot, because it's just too much, there's too much at stake to just sit this one out this year. And I'm encouraging everyone in this room, take out your phones, head to vote.wisdems.org, and find an early voting center that is convenient for you. Yep. And guys, really the only thing easier than making a plan to vote and finding where to vote was choosing which bubble I was going to fill out on that ballot. It's Kamala Harris. Yep. So, without further ado, it is my honor to introduce the woman who will stop Donald Trump in his tracks, our next president of the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Let's hear it for Ty! All right, Madison, are we ready to do this? Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to win? Oh, it's good to be back in Madison. It's good to be back. And many of you may know, when I was 5 years old, my parents taught at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And so for a time, my sister Maya and I lived not far from here in a house on Lake Mendota. So it's good to be back, and it is good to be with so many incredible leaders. And I first of all want to thank everybody who is here right now for taking the time you have taken to be here. I also want to thank our Governor of Wisconsin, Evers, Governor Evers.
Every time I land, he says, "Welcome home." Senator Baldwin, a champion for working families. Representative Pocan, Mayor Rhodes Conway, Mandela Barnes, and can we hear it for our amazing musicians, Gracie Abrams, Remi Wolf, The National, and Mumford Sons. All right, so Madison, early voting has started. Here in Madison, you can vote early now through Sunday, November 3rd. And we need you to vote early, Wisconsin, because we have 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have work to do. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. Yes, we will. We will win. We will win. And I will tell you, we will win. We will win because when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And we know we have an opportunity in, hey, you know what? Listen, we all want the war in Gaza to end and get the hostages out as soon as possible, and I will do everything in my power to make it heard and known, and everyone has a right to be heard, but right now I am speaking. Opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is, but Madison, that is not who we are. And folks are exhausted and want it to stop the pointing fingers. It is time that we start locking arms together as a people who rise and fall together. And it is time for a new generation of leadership in America. That leadership as the next President of the United States. And Wisconsin, you know me. I'm not afraid of tough fights. For decades as a prosecutor and a top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights. I won fights. Against the big banks that ripped off homeowners, against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students, against predators who abused women and children, against cartels that trafficked in guns and drugs and human beings. And Wisconsin, if you give me the chance to fight on your behalf as president, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way of fighting for you. And here's the thing. We know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. And in less than 90 days, it's either going to be him or me in the Oval Office. And here's what you know, and here's what we know. If he is elected, it's not going to happen, but if he were elected, on day one, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. You know, he talks about the enemies from within. When I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list focused on your needs. And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. That will be my focus every single day as president. I will give a middle-class tax cut to over 100 million Americans. We will enact the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on groceries. We will fight to make sure hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live. And if any of you out there are caring for an elderly parent, well, my plan will cover the cost of home care under Medicare so that seniors can get the help and care they need to stay in their own homes. It's about dignity. It's about dignity. And my plan will lower the cost of child care, cut taxes for small businesses. Do we have any small business owners here? I love our small businesses. My plan will lower health care costs because, by the way, I believe access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. It's about values. It's about values. On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to the financial pressures you face, well, it's the same as it was last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. Right. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported. Clothes, food, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax would cost the average American family nearly $4,000 more a year. And on top of that, you would pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and gets rid of the Affordable Care Act. Remember how many times he's tried to do that. And you're booing because if he were successful, it would throw millions of Americans off of their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not going back. We're not going back. Just like Wisconsin's state motto tells us, we will move forward. Because ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And we all remember how we got here. When Donald Trump was president, he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did as he intended, and now in America, 1 in 3 women lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exceptions, even for rape and incest, which is immoral. Immoral. And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Wisconsin. And he would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states, listen to this, force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans yourself, and I know we all here know one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government shouldn't be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government. Not the government. Not the government. And when Congress, together with Tammy's help, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So, Wisconsin, I am asking for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge because I know we can. Because I know we can. I know we can make progress. And I pledge then to listen to experts, to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, and to people who disagree with me. Because look, unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at my table. I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans. So it all comes down to this. We are here together for many reasons, but one of the most important, we are here together because we love our country. We love our country. We love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. And I do believe that one of the highest forms of patriotism, of our expression for the love of our country, is to fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. I have always believed in our nation's promise because I have lived it. I grew up as a child of the Civil Rights Movement. My parents would take me to the marches when I was in a stroller, where people from every walk of life came together to fight for freedom and for opportunity. Growing up, I saw how hard my mother worked to give her daughters the same chances our country gave her. And I was blessed And I was blessed to have family by blood and family by love who instilled in me the values of community and compassion and faith. I've spent my life fighting for people who have been hurt or who have been counted out, but who never stopped believing that in our country anything is possible. I have lived the promise of America. And today, I see the promise of America in all of you, in all of you, in everyone here. I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom. And the men who support them. I see it in the fathers and mothers who work hard every day for their children's future. I see it in Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before, but put the Constitution of the United States over party. And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. Generation. I just love you guys. And let me tell you why. One of the reasons is you all are rightly impatient for change. Rightly. You, who have only known the climate crisis, are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future. You, who grew up with active shooter drills, are fighting to keep our schools safe. You who now know fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers, are standing up for freedom. And what I know about you is these issues are not theoretical. This is not political for you. This is your lived experience. And I see you, and I see your power. I see your power, and I am so proud of you. Can we hear it for our first-time voters? So, Wisconsin. Okay, we got 6 days to get this thing done. And no one can sit on the sidelines. So let's spend the next 6 days so that when we look backward after the 6th day, we will know we did everything we could, okay? So now is the time to knock on doors, to text, to call, to reach out to family and friends and classmates and coworkers and neighbors. And as we do, here's my request. As we do all of that, let's be intentional about building community. And let's be intentional about building coalitions. Let's remember that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And let's approach this. Let's approach this with that spirit. And with the spirit of in the face of a stranger seeing a neighbor. Let's do it that way, okay? Let's do it that way. And let us remember that your vote is your voice and your voice is your power. So, Madison, today I ask you Are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.